So students, change the page. Let's come to page number 52. Saturday 20 June 1942. Dearest Kitty, our entire class is quacking in its boots. Quacking in its boots means shaking with fear and nervousness. Why the whole class is shaking with fear and nervousness? Because of the forthcoming meeting. In that meeting, the teachers will decide who will pass and who will be kept back in the same class. So you can almost imagine that the whole class is obviously they are shaking with fear and nervousness. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. Here Anne Frank thinks that a quarter of the class should be kept back, should be kept in the same class. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. Why? Why the teachers are called so? By Anne Frank? Because whenever you feel like that you have not given the exam, your examination is not good, you will not pass at that time, you pass with good scoring marks. So that is why Anne Frank called teachers the most unpredictable creatures on earth. She is not worried about herself or about any of her friends. She is only worried about one subject. And what is the subject? That is maths. But she is still is very hopeful that she will score a good marks. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 teachers, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Kissing, the old fogey who teaches maths, fogey means an old-fashioned person. Mr. Kissing used to teach her maths in the class. She was annoyed with her for ages. For a long time, he has been annoyed with Anne Frank. Why? Because Anne Frank was one of the most talkative girls in the class. So one day, Mr. Kissing was very annoyed, and after several warnings, he had given Anne Frank an assignment as punishment. She had to write an essay on the subject a chatterbox. Chatterbox means a talkative person, a person who talks too much. So that punishment essay that has been given by Mr. Kissing to Anne Frank. That evening, after I would finish the rest of my homework, the note about the essay caught my eye. Anne started thinking about the essay, how to write the essay. She thought, and suddenly she had an idea. She wrote 3 pages Mr. Kissing had assigned her and was very satisfied after the writing. She argued that talking is a student's characteristics, as a student habit that cannot be easily cured of. She will try her best to keep it under control, but she had got that trait, that inherited trait means quality. That inherited quality she got from her mother, as her mother also is a very talkative woman. So that trait, that quality she got from her mother. So that is why she also talks too much. So this inherited quality cannot be cured of very easily. So that is the way she wrote in her essay. Mr. Kissing had a good laugh after reading the essay. He enjoyed reading Anne's essay. The next class, again, Mr. Kissing found that Annie was talking. So, this time he had given her another punishment essay. What is that essay? An incorrigible chatterbox. What does incorrigible means? Incorrigible means something that cannot be cured of. So, again, Anne started talking in the class during the 3rd lesson. So, Mr. Kissing had given Anne another punishment essay. In that essay, the topic of the essay was "Quack, quack, quack," said Mistress Chatterbox. The class roared with laughter, and she had to laugh too, because the whole class was laughing. It was time to come up with something else, something original, because she was very worried how to come up with original ideas, because in her mind her mind was already exhausted with the ingenuity, means originality or inventiveness. So that's why she took the help from her friend Sani, who helped her to write write on this topic in verse. In verse means in poetry, in the form of a poem. She helped her. Mr. Kissing was trying to play a joke on Anne and about this ridiculous subject, but Anne made sure that the joke was on him. She finished her poem and it was beautifully done. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with 3 baby ducklings who were beaten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Luckily, Mr. Kissing took the joke in the right way. Change the page. Adding his own comments he did to the several classes. Since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework since then. Mr. Kissing always is making jokes these days. So, Mr. Kissing's relationship with Anne Frank improved after this incident. Okay? So, the diary of Anne Frank vividly describes the student-teacher relationship, the class atmosphere and the discipline. Anne talked a lot in the class and she was punished by Mr. Kissing, her maths teacher. He asks her to write the essays as punishment, which is learning in disguise for Anne, as he wanted her to focus on her studies. Her punishment enhanced Anne's thinking ability, her creative skill, and her imagination. The relationship between Mr. Kissing and Anne is clearly a lively and a very humorous one, as they both try to joke with each other, but in a very humorous and in a very healthy way, giving proper respect to each other. Such a healthy student-teacher relationship is much needed everywhere in the class for effective teaching learning experience.